Doffer did not slow when the world behind them disappeared. He ran through space without distance, through air that did not breathe, until suddenly, he stopped. Daisai understood immediately. Once Doffer stopped, he could never be forced to move again. So Daisai slid down from the horse's back and gently helped Hilary to the ground. They stepped on a ground that shimmered like broken glass beneath water. Daisai looked around, confused. "This is not a city," he said. "You were meant to take us somewhere safe." Doffer's hooves hovered above the ground. The realm itself seemed alive, watching. "This is the only place you could be brought," Doffer replied. "You cannot understand yourselves in a city." Daisai frowned. "Understand what?" "The weight of what you carry," Doffer responded. Then the sky cracked open. Past folded into present. Future bled backward. The ground beneath them split, thin fractures spreading like veins. Daisai had always known his power was strange. Time bent when his emotions burned. He remembered the last time he had used his power in his fatherland. Time itself had come to a standstill as he froze the deadly diseases drifting through the air toward the town. It was the only path left to him. By halting time, he was able to shatter the very essence of the sickness and cleanse the air before the world began to move again. But the king of his fatherland was no ordinary ruler. Powerful and perceptive, the king sensed the rupture in time and recognized the disturbance for what it was. Tracing the fracture to its source, the king discovered that it was Daisai who had caused it. For this, Daisai was sentenced to banishment. Daisai believed the judgment was cruel and unjust, for he had wielded his power not for ambition or defiance, but to save the entire town from certain death. But he had never known that his power did not only save. It destroyed. From the cracks on the ground, figures began to rise. Not bodies. Not spirits. The figures were silhouettes carved from pale, living light. Tall. Faceless. Ancient. They floated in the air as they emerged. Hilary's breath trembled as she asked, "Who are they?" "They are the Watchers," Doffer responded. "The truth-given form." The Watchers spoke without mouths, their voices pressing into bone and memory. Time-bearer. Law reborn. Hilary staggered as the echoes of the voices passed through her. Law reborn. Daisai asked, surprise flickering across his face. Light began to gather behind Hilary, thickening, breathing, until it took shape. From within it, a figure stepped forward and moved to the center of the gathering. She looked exactly like Hilary, but older and calmer. Her eyes held centuries. Hilary froze. "Who are you?" "I am you," the figure said gently. "I am who you were. And who you were made to forget." Daisai's heart pounded. "You're saying she's a reincarnation?" "Yes," the older Hilary replied. "I am the first lawgiver of Shaka. And she is my return?" Hilary's legs trembled beneath her. "I never knew," she whispered, confusion and fear clouding her voice. "I was condemned." "Because you remembered too little," the older Hilary said softly. The realm paused. She turned to Daisai and said, "Your master knew. And Elder Bambi knew." Daisai's breath caught. "They knew?" He swallowed. "They knew Hilary was a reincarnation." "Yes," the older Hilary said. "Since my demise, the Kingdom of Shaka has enforced the law only upon the common people, while the nobles walk free, even when their guilt is undeniable. I didn't know Shaka was like this. I only saw injustice in Hilary's case, and I chose to save her," Daisai said. "You did not save her by chance," the older Hilary said gently. "Nor was it by love." The words struck deep. Daisai's eyes widened as he spoke, his voice rising. "Are you saying I was sent to save her?" "Your master and Elder Bambi acted on my instruction," the older Hilary replied. The truth settled heavily on Daisai. He exhaled, realization dawning. None of the old men had ever asked him directly to save Hilary. I thought my feelings awakened my power, he said softly. It did, and it did not, the older Hilary responded. Then Daisai understood. The coded message his master sent to Elder Bambi was about him and Hilary. The love he believed was a choice, was designed. As the symbols on his talisman burned hot, the Watcher spoke. Your power was never meant to be used without cost. Daisai looked around at the trembling realm and asked, what does that mean? When the Time-Bearer fully awakens, kingdoms fracture, the older Hilary replied. It means destruction will befall on Shaka. The Watcher spoke again, and their words echoed throughout the realm. Innocent souls still live there. Daisai shouted, stepping forward urgently. There must be a way to save them. The Watchers did not answer. The older Hilary did not answer. Instead, the light began to fade. Our time is finished, the Watcher said. What comes next no longer belongs to us. Wait. Daisai shouted. Tell me how to save the innocent souls. The Watchers did not respond again as they dissolved into light. And the realm began to close. The older Hilary looked at her younger self one last time and said, you will remember, when the moment demands it. Then, in a single breath, she was gone. And Hilary, who had been dumbfounded all along, gasped. The realm fell silent. Daisai turned to Dofa and said, there must be a way. There is, Dofa replied. Daisai's voice was urgent. What is the way? Your master. Dofa said. He knows. Daisai exhaled. That means, we are going to my fatherland. Dofa responded by nudging forward, the path already set. Daisai looked at Hilary and saw that her eyes no longer carried confusion. Then we go, she said. They mounted the horse together. The realm opened once more. And the three of them vanished, riding towards the land where Daisai and his power had been born. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe to discover more of our stories.